The Aboriginals were the last Canadians to attain the right to vote in the year of 1960. In this time, they were allowed to vote without losing their treaty status. The person who put this into action was John Diefenbaker on July 1st. This came to action. Before, the Aboriginals could only vote by giving up their treaty status. This was in 1867. However, the anniversary brings mixed emotions to fellow Canadians. First Parliamentary Committee agreed that all status Indians be given the vote, but it didn't come to act until John Diefenbaker 12 years later. Diefenbaker was so determined that they get the vote, he told CBC in 1971 documentary. First Parliamentary Committee agreed that all status Indians be given the vote, but it didn't come until 12 years later. Before 1960, the Aboriginals could only vote by giving up their treaty status. This has been the case since 1867. John Diefenbaker said it was just so unjust that they don't get the vote. I brought it up as soon as I was Prime Minister. The Dene chief, Bill Erasmus, was very cautious of this whole process. He wished he could have discussed this topic with John Diefenbaker. Erasmus said that the whole exercise was to make us Canadians, and we never discussed about that. For many others, voting and participation in the political process are things now taken for granted. I believe that if the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms had always been there, the Aboriginals would not have been treated unfairly. It was the Charter of Rights and Freedoms was always there, the Aboriginals would not have been discriminated against. This is because equality rights are built into the Charter. Equality rights would mean every individual is equal benefit or law without discrimination, and particular without discrimination based on race or color. The Aboriginals were discriminated against because of the color of their skin and their nationality. That would not be equality, because equality would mean everyone is the same, no matter the color of their skin nor their nationality. It would also be democratic rights. Would have also been a reason that they would get the vote, because it clearly states that every citizen of Canada has the right to vote in an election of members of the House of Commons or of Legislative Assembly, and to be qualified for a membership therein. It kind of relates to equality because everyone except for the Aboriginals had these rights, and they were named Indians instead of Canadians. Fundamental freedoms. Fundamental freedoms could help them vote. It clearly states that every person has the freedom of thought, belief, expression, and press. It could be a reason because if you have the freedom of thought, you would think you'd have a best choice for the election. Or if you think something is wrong, you have the right to speak your mind.